Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Money Café America, where we slow paycheck pressure down until it makes sense.
Hi, I'm Ethan.
And I'm Maya. Today we are looking at how to budget when you live paycheck to paycheck.
Are you drinking the dark roast today?
I am. I needed something stronger this morning.
Yeah, I hear that. It has been a long week.
That tired feeling fits exactly with what we are facing today.
We are talking about the morning your direct deposit hits.
Yes, and before you even get out of bed, most of it is already gone.
Right. Rent pulls a huge piece, and the automatic bills take the rest.
Then you look at the remaining balance and wonder how to buy groceries.
It honestly makes budgeting feel like a joke.
Why plan when there is nothing left to move around?
You are just trying to survive until the next deposit.
That frustration is completely real.
It always makes me feel like I am doing something wrong.
This does not mean you are failing with money.
It just feels like being stuck on a treadmill.
Traditional advice rarely fits when cash flow is this tight.
So, what do you do when the normal advice fails?
We can shift how we look at the timeline.
I mean, the due dates are not going to change.
True, but there is a different way to map out those difficult weeks.
I would definitely take a simpler map right now.
A simple decision model will emerge as we talk through this.
That sounds better than staring at an empty account.
By the end of this episode, you will have one clear action to take.
Okay, I am ready to start.
We left off with that morning feeling after the direct deposit hits,
You wake up expecting to feel safe for at least one day.
but you open the app and the balance is already dropping.
The rent cleared, the bill hit, it is just gone.
That creates a very specific kind of financial burnout.
It does. You feel like you failed before you even started.
You assume you are bad at budgeting because there is nothing left to organize.
Exactly. Why make a plan when the money is already gone?
But the problem in that moment is not your budgeting skill.
Then what am I doing wrong?
You are confusing a timing gap with a spending problem.
A timing gap? What does that mean?
Think of your checking account as a crowded waiting room.
Okay, I am picturing a very stressful room.
The money walks in the front doors on payday.
And all the bills are standing right there waiting for it.
Yes, they grab the money and pull it out the back doors immediately.
The money never even gets to sit down.
It was just passing through.
Wait. Oh, I see it now.
What do you see?
I get mad at myself for not saving that money.
But that money was actually spent weeks ago when you signed the lease.
It was never really mine to plan with today.
That is the shift we need to make.
That actually makes me feel a lot less guilty.
The plain rule here is to separate past promises from current choices.
That sounds good, but what does that mean on a normal day?
It means identifying exactly which dollars are just passing through the waiting room.
So you stop looking at the big total deposit amount.
Right. And if this waiting room idea helps, save this episode for the next time money feels loud.
I know friends who definitely need that reminder too.
Now we run into the most common mistake people make here.
What is the mistake? I probably make it.
People try to fix this by planning out the entire month at once.
Is that not what a budget is supposed to be?
The classic advice tells you to list every monthly expense on a spreadsheet.
I have tried to do that on a Sunday night.
But if you live paycheck to paycheck, a monthly view is actually dangerous.
Why is it dangerous to look at the whole month?
Because it forces you to do math with money that does not exist yet.
Yeah, I get to the second week and the numbers just break.
You look at that monthly plan, and it feels like a total fantasy.
Because the cash for the second half of the month is literally not there.
That is the exact trap that makes people quit.
It makes you want to close the laptop and just hope for the best.
The better way is to drastically shrink your timeline.
Shrink it down to what?
You only plan for the exact days between today and your next deposit.
Just those specific days? That feels weirdly rebellious.
It is about survival and clarity, not textbook perfection.
So if I get paid on Thursday, I only plan until the following Thursday.
You ask what this specific money needs to do before the next money arrives.
That removes a huge amount of the panic.
It stops you from worrying about a utility bill that is due 3 weeks away.
Because this current paycheck is not responsible for that bill.
You are giving the money in your account a much smaller job.
I can actually wrap my head around that.
It keeps the math grounded in reality.
That makes the whole thing feel a lot more manageable.
Let's take that rule about only planning until the next deposit.
That is the part that actually feels like a relief.
It works best when we put it into a real situation.
Like when I am standing in the grocery store.
Yes. Imagine you are in the aisle comparing prices.
I do that every week, and it always feels stressful.
You just got paid yesterday, so there is money in the account.
Right, that is when I usually feel safe to buy extra.
What is your first instinct when you see a bulk deal?
I buy the giant pack of paper towels or chicken.
Because the price per unit looks cheaper on the tag.
It feels like I am being smart and saving money.
But what happens to your cash for the rest of the week?
It is gone, and then I am stressed by Tuesday.
That is the trap of traditional budgeting advice.
Wait, buying in bulk is bad?
It is bad if it ruins your cash flow for the gap.
Because the gap is the time before my next paycheck.
Exactly. You only need enough groceries to get to next Thursday.
But leaving a good deal behind feels so wrong.
The limitation here is giving up efficiency for survival.
I mean, survival definitely sounds more important than paper towels.
A great deal does not matter if it causes an overdraft fee.
Oof, I have definitely caused an overdraft trying to save money.
So the practical step is buying just enough for the current gap.
I just buy the smaller pack and keep the cash.
That keeps your waiting room from emptying out too fast.
That makes sense. Keep the money available for other things.
Let's look at another common gap moment.
Is this about the bills that hit at the worst time?
Yes, a bill arrives 3 days before your next direct deposit.
That is always the longest 3 days of the month.
Imagine your phone bill autopay is scheduled for that Tuesday.
And payday is not until Friday.
What do people usually do when they see that coming?
Honestly, I just close the app and hope for the best.
You hope the bill somehow takes a few days to clear.
Or I hope I have just enough cushion left to cover it.
But relying on hope is what causes that heavy chest feeling.
Yeah, you spend 3 days holding your breath.
The better move is to control the dates, not just the math.
How do I control the date of a phone bill?
Many companies let you shift your payment date online.
I thought those dates were permanently locked in.
You can often move it to the day after your deposit hits.
So the money walks in and immediately handles the phone bill.
Yes. You align the bill with the actual money.
But what if the company will not let me move it?
That is the realistic limit here. Not every bill is flexible.
What happens when rent is due on the worst possible day?
Rent usually cannot move. That is why we moved the phone bill.
Oh, we make room by moving the smaller things out of the way.
We clear the gap so rent is the only thing left.
That actually makes the gap feel much less crowded.
It changes the whole feeling of the week.
I would love to stop holding my breath every Tuesday.
There is a third version of this pressure.
Let me guess, it involves the weekend.
It does. It is Saturday night, and payday is still 5 days away.
The worst timing for anyone to send a group text.
Friends want to meet at a restaurant.
And you know it will cost at least $40.
What is the usual mistake in that moment?
People just put it on a credit card and ignore it.
They swipe the card to pretend the gap does not exist.
I mean, you do not want to sit at home feeling broke.
But what does that swipe do to your next paycheck?
It steals from the money that has not even arrived yet.
Yes, you are borrowing from your own future waiting room.
So what is the alternative? Just saying no to everything?
The alternative is making a gap-specific social choice.
What does a gap-specific choice look like?
You check your gap plan, not your credit limit.
Okay, so I look at the days until I get paid.
You see, you have $20 left that is not assigned to bills.
And $40 for dinner would break the plan.
Right. So you tell your friends you will meet them after dinner.
Just go for one drink or an appetizer instead.
You protect the gap without isolating yourself completely.
That part is hard, honestly. It feels a little embarrassing.
It is okay to feel that way. Social pressure is heavy.
People assume you have money if you are working full-time.
But nobody else sees your direct deposit schedule.
True, they do not know my rent just cleared yesterday.
You have to protect your own stability first.
Because nobody else is going to pay my overdraft fee.
That is the truth. The limitation is sitting with that discomfort briefly.
It takes courage to admit you are watching your spending.
But it feels much better than regretting the swipe on Wednesday.
Wow, yeah, the Wednesday regret is always worse than the Saturday awkwardness.
This is why shrinking your timeline works.
You are only making hard choices for a few days at a time.
It is easier to be disciplined for 4 days than for 30 days.
I can handle saying no on a Saturday if I know payday is Thursday.
It removes the feeling of endless restriction.
A monthly budget just feels like a prison sentence.
This method is just a bridge to the next safe landing.
I like that. We are just building a short bridge.
To start building it, there is one small action you can take.
What is the mini action for today?
Within the next 24 hours, log into your account.
Just open the app? I can do that.
Find the exact date your next paycheck will arrive.
Okay, let us say it is next Friday.
Then write down only the bills due between today and next Friday.
I just ignore everything due after that Friday?
Completely ignore them for now. They belong to the next bridge.
That cuts my worry list down to almost nothing.
It leaves you with a very clear, very small math problem.
If I only have 2 bills before Friday, I can handle that.
You subtract those 2 bills from what you have right now.
And whatever is left is my actual grocery and gas money.
That is the true number you have available to survive the gap.
That feels incredibly grounded.
It takes the mystery out of the waiting room.
I feel like I actually have a tiny bit of control now.
That small bit of control is the foundation.
It stops the panic from taking over.
When you know the exact gap, the fear gets quiet.
Because fear loves it when everything is vague and messy.
Once you write down those few dates, the week looks different.
The week looks like a simple schedule, not a threat.
You are no longer guessing if you can afford things.
I know exactly what I have before that next check hits.
That means you can finally trust your own decisions.
I feel a lot more prepared to try this now.
We just looked at avoiding the bulk buying trap and moving the phone bill.
Yeah, clearing the space so the short week feels a lot less crowded.
Let's test that gap strategy with one more quick situation.
Okay, I am ready for the test.
You have $40 left to survive until your deposit hits on Thursday.
That sounds like a very familiar Tuesday morning.
You need gas for work, which will cost $20.
Right.
But you are exhausted and really want a $20 delivery meal.
That is the classic Tuesday night struggle right there.
How do you handle that choice if you are protecting the gap?
Well, I absolutely need the gas to keep my job.
That is the right priority to start with.
So I pay cash for the gas to protect my commute.
And what about the food you really want?
I would probably just use a buy now, pay later app for the meal. That keeps my last $20 safe in the checking account, right?
I love that you are fiercely protecting the cash you have left.
But I can hear a catch coming.
The catch is that a delayed payment does not actually protect the gap.
Because it just becomes a new bill for the next paycheck?
Exactly. You are just hiding the expense in a different waiting room.
Okay, that stings a little, but it is completely true.
The better move is to eat whatever random food is already in the kitchen.
Even if it is just a weird combination of snacks and pasta.
Yes, because surviving the gap means making do with what is already there.
That is the messy reality of living paycheck to paycheck.
That reality actually comes down to a specific idea called cash flow.
I hear that term everywhere, but it always sounds like corporate jargon.
What does it sound like it means to you on a normal day?
I guess it just means how much money you make from your job.
That is how most people use it, but it means something different.
What is the real definition?
Cash flow is the exact timing of money entering and leaving your account.
So it is about the calendar, not just the math.
Yes, if you make plenty of money but the bills hit before payday, your flow is broken.
Like the phone bill landing 3 days too early.
Exactly. Your income is fine, but your cash flow is creating a crisis.
That explains why I can make decent money but still feel completely broke.
It matters because fixing the timing is often easier than getting a second job.
That gives me a lot of hope, honestly.
That brings us to the second word we need to clear up today.
Okay, lay it on me.
We need to define fixed expenses.
Are those the bills that never change their amount?
Almost. Fixed expenses are the costs that stay the exact same price every single month.
Like my rent, my car loan, or my internet bill.
Yes, you know exactly what the number will be long before the bill arrives.
Why do we need a special label for something that simple?
Because these are the numbers you must lock down on your short-term plan first.
They are the unmovable rocks in the waiting room.
You do not have to guess them, so you plan around them immediately.
That is actually kind of comforting.
It is. They are totally predictable, which removes a lot of the fear.
I can just put them on the calendar and forget about them.
But what about the things that are not predictable at all?
That is where the stress usually comes back.
That is our third term today. The term is variable expenses.
Let me guess, it is the exact opposite of fixed.
Right. Variable expenses are costs that change based on your daily choices and habits.
How would you describe that without the finance wording?
It is the money that slips through your fingers if you stop paying attention.
So it is the takeout, the groceries, and the late-night online purchases.
Exactly. These are the expenses you actually have full control over during the gap.
Because I cannot negotiate my rent amount on a random Tuesday.
But you can completely control whether you buy the expensive coffee.
Okay, so variable means flexible, but also slightly dangerous.
It matters because your variable expenses are where you survive or fail the gap.
That is where the weekly battle is actually won or lost.
You manage the variable costs closely to keep the gap safe.
If I ignore the variable spending, the gap falls apart immediately.
That is the exact truth.
The whole bridging system breaks down.
It breaks down very fast.
I need to look at my variable spending much closer than I thought.
But remember, you only have to watch it until the next deposit arrives.
Just keep the variable choices small until Thursday.
That is the only assignment.
That makes those financial words feel a lot less intimidating to me.
They are just practical tools to help you manage the calendar stress.
I can handle adjusting the timing instead of just yelling at myself.
The map just shows you where the potholes are.
And the variable expenses are definitely the biggest potholes.
But now you know exactly how to drive around them.
That gives me a clear target for the next few days.
Let's put this variable expense idea to a real test.
I feel like my real life tests this every single week.
It is a Wednesday afternoon, and your next deposit arrives on Friday.
That is definitely the hardest part of the week.
A coworker stops by your desk and asks for $25.
Let me guess, it is for a group lunch or a birthday gift.
Yes, and everyone else in the office has already chipped in.
That is a serious amount of office peer pressure.
You do not want to look cheap in front of your team.
I really do not. So I usually just agree before thinking about it.
But today, you pause. How do you decide if you can hand over the money?
Well, I would open my banking app and look at the main checking balance.
What number makes you say yes?
If I see $50 sitting in there, I figure I can easily afford it.
Almost, but trusting that main balance is exactly how the gap breaks.
Wait, why? If the cash is literally sitting there, why is it bad to use it?
Because that $50 might already belong to the electric bill due Thursday morning.
Oh, right. I completely forgot about the fixed expenses waiting in the room.
The main balance lies to you, because it completely hides the timeline.
It just shows me a pile of cash, not what the cash is supposed to do.
So how do you handle the coworker's request safely?
I would have to check my actual gap math, not just the checking account screen.
Exactly. You need to verify if that $25 fits into your flexible spending.
And if it leaves me with zero for my commute on Thursday, I have to say no.
You might tell them you can only chip in $5 this time.
That is pretty uncomfortable, honestly. It feels weird to explain that to a coworker.
You do not have to explain your whole financial plan. A simple no is fine.
But sitting with that awkwardness definitely protects my Friday deposit.
It is much better than overdrafting your account on Thursday afternoon.
I can handle a weird office interaction to keep my bills paid on time.
How would you start using this short timeline in your normal routine?
Honestly, I would stop looking at my full monthly budget spreadsheet right away.
That is a massive relief for a lot of people.
I would just write down the next payday on a sticky note and put it on my desk.
We can build a really solid action plan out of that exact idea.
I am ready for a plan that actually fits on a sticky note.
The first step is to find the exact date of your very next paycheck.
Just focus on that one single day.
Second, look at your account and subtract only the bills that clear before that date.
So I completely ignore the rent if it is due next week.
Yes. Third, take whatever cash is left and set it as your firm limit for the gap.
That becomes my actual flexible money to survive the week.
It gives you a crystal clear boundary without requiring a complex spreadsheet.
I really want to know what makes this gap fall apart for other people.
We should absolutely ask them.
Think about the variable expense that usually drains your account right before payday.
What is the thing that always breaks your short timeline?
You can put one word in the comments to tell us what it is.
Naming the leak is the best way to start protecting the gap.
You could write takeout, groceries, coffee, or maybe online carts.
Any honest answer helps you see the pattern clearly.
I am definitely writing takeout for myself. But honestly, I feel like I have a real way to manage it now.
Keeping your comment in mind is a solid way to start fixing your timeline.
Just remember to keep your plan short and only focus on the next deposit.
If you only manage your variable choices for 4 days, you can actually do it.
It stops you from carrying the weight of the whole month on a Tuesday.
You are not failing at money just because the gap feels completely overwhelming right now.
Getting the timing right gives you a little bit of breathing room back.
Thank you for sharing a table with us today at Money Café America.
It always helps to know we are not figuring this out alone.
I'm Maya. Goodbye, and please be kind to yourself as you map out this week.
And I'm Ethan. Take it one step at a time, and see you next time.